Hi there, it's Sarah here from Peerless Designs, and today I'm going to have a go at painting up this old dresser. I'm using chalk paint and I'm going to be doing an ombre effect, which I've never done before, so we'll see how that turns out. So you can come on the journey with me. I'm using this amazing paint, recolor paint. It's eco-friendly, and I'm going to be using 3 colours. I'll put a link down below in the description later telling you where I get this from. It's in the UK obviously, so if you're watching from the US, but there are various outlets for it, and it's made from recycled paint, so it's eco brilliant for upcycling as well, and it's an amazing paint. It's actually sponsored by Dulux as well, so well worth a try because it's brilliant. So today I'm going to be using Terrific Teal, Evening Elegance and Brave Blue. So I'm going to be graduating from dark to lighter blue. I did start up here. I was doing the drawers separately originally. I was going to use a different colour, which this one here is Deep Delta, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to go more blue than teal, so I will be painting over that. So what I'm going to do is I'll shift back a bit and we're going to put a base coat on. I have rubbed this down as much as I can. The chalk paint's brilliant because it does cover a multitude of sins. It's going to take a few coats though, so what I'll do is I'll put a base coat on now, and I'll show you how we go about doing it. So I've left the hinges on, and I'm going to do it with the doors in situ because I'm doing an ombre. It's going to be a lot easier, and again with the drawers, so I'll just shut the drawers in. I'm going to be replacing the actual knobs, so I've left those off, but with the hinges I want it all to blend in, so I've left the hinges on. So okay, let's get going then, and we're going to start off with the darkest colour, which is the Evening Elegance. So let me just shift around a bit. Here we go, and it does go on really nicely. Right, so I normally just get some and put it in my the lid and just give it a swirl round. So we're going to start at the bottom, and we're just going to go up halfway. Like I say, I've never done the ombre effect before, so at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, you can just go over it, you know. Give it a quick sand down and go over it. It's no big deal. So what I might do is see how I get on, but I'll fast forward if I run out of things to say. Can you see? Yeah, you can see down here, can't you? So I've already started the side, so I've done 1 coat on the side. So once we've got a base coat on here, I can actually go to the next stage on the side with you, so hopefully we'll see how we go. Trying to see how much is in shot, so I'll probably do this side first. Like I say, I might spin the video on fast forward once I get to a certain point, because these brushes are just fairly cheap ones actually that I got on Amazon, so I'm not using anything expensive, and although the paint isn't expensive, it actually acts like it is expensive paint. I've used quite a lot of paint, and I absolutely love this recolor paint because it goes on so nice. It's got such structure to it. Now the actual wood on here is quite an open grain, so what I might do, I'll see what the finish is like. I might actually give it a light sand in between coats, but we'll see. Yeah, you can still see me if I do this side bit, can't you? So we just get a bit of this colour down right the way across. Like I say, this is just the first coat, so we're just getting it down, getting in all the corners. Try and be quite light with your stroke, so you don't, if you press very hard you end up getting streaks, and we don't want streaks, so be quite light. Obviously with the first coat you're going to have, it's going to be streaky, but see if you don't press too hard in the first place. And the secret is, you know, if you think about if you're going to be doing a lot of coats, thinner, you know, thin coats is better. Never ever go in with chalk paint really thick, because all you'll do is end up with a really horrible finish and it'll go all gloopy. So think about more is better and nice thin coats. So like I say, we're going to have 3 colours on this, so I'm only going sort of third. So you can see we have actually sort of got zones here already, which does help. Make sure I get in all the nooks and crannies of the hinges. And right down to the bottom there. Okay. Right, so for a first coat, that's cool. Alright, I'm going to use sort of different paintbrushes for each colour, obviously, which makes things a lot easier. So then I'm going to the next darkest colour, which is the Brave Blue, and ending up with the terrific teal at the end. So I'll put this brush down. Make sure my brush is dry. Always use nice dry brushes as well when you're doing chalk paint. Right, so let's see. So the next one we're going to is the Brave Blue. And like I say, whatever you do on this coat doesn't really matter, because we are going to be going over it, but you're sort of defining the zones where you're going to be trying to get the ombre effect. Make sure all the little corners are have got paint in them. I can't use the lid for this colour because I meant to clean the lid off and it's a bit grotty, and I don't want any bits getting on there. See, this is quite open, the grain on here, so it might take a few coats just to fill in all the cracks. I have actually put some wood filler on the top just to try and fill it in a bit. If it was flat, a flat door, it would be a lot easier, but it isn't, so we'll see how we go. I mean, I have had a go on the side already, and it's worked out quite nicely. So if I just start to bring that blue down into that teal down a bit, like I say, you just keep working it in and it'll come in the end. Once it's dry, the next coat will be where we can actually start properly blending the colours. Okay. I've been dying to do this for ages, but it's been so cold, and I'm down in the cellar, so it's it's really cold. So I haven't been able to come down here and do it. I started it before Christmas, and that was it. It just got too cold. So finally, we've got a bit of nice weather. Okay. Okay, just make sure all the little side bits are right. So I was originally going to be putting tissue paper with a peacock design on here, but because of these holes in the drawer fronts, it just didn't look right. If it had been flat, it probably would have been okay, but I changed my mind, so I've ended up just taking it off. And like I say, I've changed my mind on the colour as well, so I'm going to be going over this. So, right, so we're on to the next colour now. Just put that there. And we're on the Terrific Teal, which is hardly any difference at all. But it's just enough, I think, just enough change. Okay, so. It actually doesn't look much different to the colour that was there, but that's a lot greener. This is much bluer, so I think it fits in better. I have actually painted the sides of the drawers in that colour, so I'll have to go over that, I think. But I can do that at a later date. It's getting the colour on the front really. Sure I get up and under this lip. I think I'll probably do the top in the darker colour. I'm not absolutely sure yet, I can't decide, so I'll leave the top for now. I was going to actually sand it down and have it plain wood, but it's not nice enough, the finish on the wood, so I will end up painting it, and also I might put some stenciling on the doors maybe. We'll see how it looks when it's plain. If I think it's too plain, because the room it's going in is quite over the top with all the peacocks. I might even I designed a peacock stencil. I might even do a peacock stencil rather than just a pattern stencil. We'll see. Try not to get too much paint in these little bits, otherwise you might get it drip. That's another reason why you don't use thick paint, because you don't want any drips at all. You want it to be nice thin coats. hair there. Don't want you. Definitely not. Okay. Again, I can just bring that colour down a little bit. So when you're doing ombre, you do wet in wet. So you'll bring one colour down and then you'll take the other colour up and you'll keep blending and blending. That's gone. Okay, so let's get over to this side now. I think you can see, yeah, you can just about see up here, can't you? That's why I like to dip the brush into, you know, a little pot or something like this rather than going in straight, because it means you can, you know, you haven't got a lot of paint on your brush. So I'll dip into the paint and then I'll spin it round in the lid. I haven't filled the holes in because obviously, because I've shut the drawers, I won't be able to get them out again unless I've got some way of putting a screwdriver in there. And also, I think I'm going to have cup handles, which will cover the hole up anyway. But I can always fill it in afterwards if I don't have the type of handles that come all the way through. Because if I use the cup handles, you're not going to see the hole. So it doesn't matter if I fill it in afterwards. Okay. Just keep checking that you haven't got any drips on that lower edge there. Chalk paint dries really quickly, which is great because it means that it doesn't take you too long to do a project. This little dresser, how much did I picked it up for about £20 I think. It's got a top part to it as well, but I actually wanted a sideboard and this was the only thing available that I could find at the time, so I don't think I'll paint the top bit, but I've got it in case I decide that I want to make it back into like a Welsh dresser. Okay, right, so I got everywhere now. Okay, we're back round the side now, so as you can see I've already put one coat on and it's already looking really nice compared to the horrible dark brown colour that it was. It's actually gone on the sides, gone on nicer than it has on the front, so the side probably won't need so many coats. So what we'll do is we'll start on the second coat and see how we can get that effect to start off really dark and end up lighter without having an obvious line. Again, like I say, it's all to do with keeping your brushes quite dry. Don't have too much paint on them. Let's just put those down there. So I'm back to my, yeah, you can see that. I'm going to start with the dark colour, so let's just get this colour on. It obviously goes on a lot lighter than it is when it's dry. I just need to watch as well when I do the front that I'm not leaving a thick amount of paint there on the front. in there where you see. Okay. Really like this colour. It's got almost it's not a blue, it's more on the purpley side. But it's really nice colour. I do think though it was a limited edition colour, which they don't have, you know, it's not one of the colours that they stock all the time. But with COVID and everything, it's a while since I've been in, so it might be, you know, I don't know, it might be one of their regular colours now. So let's just get this paint on. Like I say, this grain is quite open, you probably can't see because you're a bit away, but so I want it to really sink into all those, that open grain. So I'm going to take it up to here, and then I'm going to be able to blend it in more once I get the next colour in. Like I say, if it doesn't work for you and you end up with a big straight line, which if you follow along you shouldn't do it, it really isn't hard to get a really nice result, as long as you don't put too much paint on your brush. Just keep it nice and light. Okay, so I've got as far as there. So let's go to the next one, the next darkest. I should have got myself something to mix this on, but anyway, never mind. So this is the Brave Blue. I'm just going to get this in here. So we're thinking of thirds, okay? So I'm going to start bringing this down into the darker blue here. But I'm just going to, it will contaminate the brush, so I'm just going to get the main colour on first. Maybe a bit higher. There's quite an open green there, so let's get, yeah, let's really work the paint into it. Right, so now I have hardly got any paint on my brush because I've been working it in, but what I'm going to start doing now is bringing the brush down into the blue paint very lightly, okay? Bringing it down so it's graduating in. And then if you find you've come too far down, then get the darker blue and go back up again. So you can keep layering it until you get it just right. But with a light hand, don't be really, you know, heavy with your hand. You need a light hand. Like I say, I've never done this before. I've not done an ombre effect on a piece of furniture, so this is my first time too. So we'll see. Okay, you know, I'm experienced in the respect that I have altered furniture before and painted it, but to do an ombre effect I have never literally done it. So let's just slightly bring it down a bit further. And don't forget you're doing this while the paint's still wet as well, so it really blends. I think my battery's going to run out, so I'll stop it in a minute and then I'll come back to do the top part. In fact, I'll carry on, hopefully it'll last just enough time to do the top, because it needs to be done while it's wet. So let's get this blue on the top. I keep looking to see if it's stopped yet. Okay, so I'm getting this nice teal colour on now, and then I'm coming down into the wet paint. I'm really liking these three colours together, are really, really nice. I couldn't decide, because I'd never done an ombre, I couldn't decide whether to just do it the one colour, but I thought no, let's be brave, as in the title of the paint colour, Brave Blue, and try it, because it is all the rage at the moment and it does look really, really nice. So yeah, like I say, let's come down into the blue now. Just keep working, and what it'll do is it'll pick up some of the darker blue on your brush, so you can go back up. The light's not amazing in here, so it's hard for me to see. So what I might do now is just grab the Brave Blue again. And I'm going to take it back up again. And I must admit, for just the second coat, this is looking really quite nice. So I'm going up with that one, with the Brave Blue, and then I'm going to come down. Excuse me. Okay. Just very, very lightly. And then back up again, because every time you come into the wet paint, you can go back up and it'll take the darker back up with you. And like I say, if you end up with a definite line, then just get the darker blue and come back in with the darker blue again. So we're just really, really lightly with your hand, blending and blending it. I mean, that's the nice thing with chalk paint, it really does blend nicely. Not forgetting those edges, need a bit of the dark again. Okay, bring the dark back up now into the light. And I've got a couple of splashes down here, only tiny little spots of the lighter colour, so I'll just use the darker colour to go over it. I'm actually really quite pleased with that. I'll stand up and just check and see what it looks like. Yeah, there's a bit of colour. Bit more paint here. camera lasted well there. It's flashing away, but it's lasted really well. So by the time I go and get my other battery, hopefully the front will be dry and we can check out. Having a go at the front. Okay, so which colour? This one. Once it starts to dry properly, it's best to stop. You can always do another coat, because otherwise if you move the paint around when it's not wet, it's going to go a bit gloopy. You can spray it with water, but don't spray the actual thing, spray your brush really. Okay, so I've got my battery back now, and I just thought I'd show you a better view. So this is with 2 coats that we've just done, and as you can see it gradiates up to the lighter colour, and I think that actually it's come out really quite well. I'll probably do another coat, but if we come round to the front definitely needs more coats, especially with that white that was on the drawer fronts. So I'm going to do just another plain coat like we did before on the front of the dresser, and I think then the third coat will be the one where we're looking to blend it in better.